So today we're going to chat about how much money you need to invest in your first mobile home park. And if this is the first time that you are listening to this kind of episode where you might be interested in investing in mobile home parks, or maybe you're interested in jumping in a deal with me, head on over to nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com/MHP. nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com/MHP. Got a really cool download there for you that basically talks about the kind of criteria that you should be looking for when you are looking to invest in a park. And that's totally free, quick read, and it'll be really informative for you. So let's talk about how much money you need to start or really buy your next deal. And there's going to talk about 5 different ways that you can actually get involved in real estate investing. And so the first one is probably the lowest barrier to entry. And that is if you become a deal finder, right? A deal finder. And this is where you might get on the phone and cold call a bunch of park owners and ask sellers if they would like to sell their property. And then you get that property under contract. All right. You get that property under contract, and then you take that deal, and it should be a good deal, right? Because you want to pass that good deal along to the investor. And then you sell that deal, your contract, to someone who's going to eventually buy it. And those fees typically range from $25,000 to $50,000, right? Think about being able to put $50,000 in your pocket for one deal. That's not going to be the case on every deal, but you can make some great money. You can learn to talk to sellers. All you have to do is lock them up under contract. And I actually might add a little script for you in the PDF download by the time that I record this. This is a really good idea as I'm thinking of that. So I'll include a script for you in that PDF. And assigning a deal, again, is really cool because the end investor, right, someone like myself, they're super excited because they didn't have to go out and find this deal, and they'll be happy to pay you a fee for that deal. And so for that, it takes very, very little money, just your time. Lock it up in a contract and assign it. Now, the cool thing, if you don't know what assigning a deal means, there's a clause in that contract that just says buyer may assign this contract to another buyer. And so that'll basically enable you to sell that piece of paper. Number 2 is join somebody in their deal. So actually, this is how I invested in my first mobile home park, and I got to invest with one of the largest mobile home park investors in the country, and they coached me and they mentored me. And I said, hey, you know what? Instead of me doing my first deal, I'm kind of busy buying houses. Why don't I just give you some of my money? And so I took some money out of my retirement account. It was kind of scary, to be frank, and I invested it in their deal, and I got a great return. I'm still invested in what they call their funds, right? So I've earned, I don't know, greater than 15% return on my money year after year after year after year on some of those funds, which has been just tremendous. And it gave me really a close look at the business and to get into my comfort zone. And so that's been some of the easiest money I've made, is just join somebody else's deal. And by the way, if you're interested in jumping into one of my deals, basically it's a very passive role, meaning that you are not involved in the deal doing, right? You're just taking your money and saying, hey, I want a piece of the profits, and I want to learn a little bit about what you do and watch you do it. So here you go, right? So if you want to know more about that, you want to jump in one of my deals, go to nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com/MHP. That PDF, you'll see an area where you can learn how to jump in one of my deals. All right. Number 3 is going out and negotiating a deal with owner finance, or it could be a master lease. So what does this mean? Owner financing means when a seller decides that they will be the bank, right? Where they will basically, you don't have to go out and get a bank loan, that they will carry the paper, right? That instead of giving them a big lump sum, you will pay them monthly for the balance of whatever you agree to buy that park for. Now, sometimes you can get in for 0 down. That's, I wouldn't say rare, it's hard to do, right? But typically you're going to wind up giving them between a 10 and a 20% down payment. So right now I'm talking to somebody on a $5 million deal, and they want $1 million down. That sounds like a lot, but you could have a $500,000 deal and they're asking $100K down. Don't sleep on the 0 down deals. Here's something that's really interesting, by the way, a little hybrid between 1 and 3. You could lock up an owner finance deal, right? Let's just say that the seller wants, it's $1 million deal or $2 million deal. Seller wants 10% down, $100,000. And you don't have that, right? You could actually assign an owner finance deal to somebody else. How cool is that, right? So you negotiate that, and then you assign the deal to somebody else, and boom, you're in a deal, okay? Or you could assign it for some quick cash. Number 4, and this is probably the most common way it's done on mainstream, is you can go and get a bank loan to buy a property. So that's how I did my first actual deal that wasn't part of somebody, was somebody bringing a deal to me, right? So the first deal that I went and found, I went and I put 25% down on a $1 million property. That was $250,000. I bought that property. Here's the cool thing. You know what's really funny is I actually brought somebody else along with me in that deal. So that 25% down. By the way, if you're like, hey, I don't want partners, and you're listening to this, right? And you're like, I don't want to invest in anyone's deal. I don't want to invest in anyone else's deal. I want to buy the deal. I want to finance it myself. You can do that if you have the money. Or 2, you can find someone else who has the money, right? And partner with them. So this deal right here, my first one that I bought for $1 million, I went and I raised that $250,000, and that person became, quote unquote, part of my deal. So that was very much the scenario where you can join somebody else. For me, I went and got a bank loan, and then I brought someone along with me in that deal. They are my partner on that deal, and they are earning an excellent return on their money. So you could see in the the second way, I joined somebody else in their deal. In the fourth way, I had somebody else join me in mine, which was really, really cool. But typically with a bank loan, you're going to have to put 25% down. You're going to get the lowest interest rates that way. Okay. Last one is, and this is really cool. If you have more hustle than and time than money, and you just like, hey, you know what? Like, I really want to be a part of the team. And a lot of you listening to this are like, man, I'm not an entrepreneur. Like, I love entrepreneurial stuff, but I want to be an intrapreneur, right? I want to do deals with you, Todd, and I want to find deals for you, and I just want to work inside your team. That's very similar to how our acquisition specialists work with us in our house buying business, but you can actually work for somebody else and be entrepreneurial and find the deal and actually get a piece of the deal working and managing that park with the team, right? So you're like an internal member of the team. You're working on somebody else's team. You find the deal and you help manage it, and you get a piece of that deal for working it. So those are 5 different ways and how much you need. By the way, that last way is 0. And so if you noticed, 3 of these have the potential to be 0. I'll review. Number 1, you could find the deal and assign it, make quick $50,000. 2, you could join somebody else's deal if you have retirement funds. You got a couple $100,000 sitting around, right? And put it in their deal. You don't have to do any of the work. And I got to tell you that was the one when I did that, and I'm still invested in those funds. It's the easiest money I've ever made. Very easy. By the way, if you want to check that out, go to nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com/MHP. That's short for mobile home parks. You could find a seller who's willing to owner finance. That could be 0 down. Sometimes they might require 10 to 20. 4, if you want to get a bank loan to do it, it's going to require about 25% down on a $1 million property. That's $250 on a $500,000 property. That's going to be a little bit more than $100,000, $120,000. So that's going to be the most intensive, but you can get some great terms that way. And then 5 is, hey, decide you're going to work inside someone's organization, go and find parks, help negotiate, lock them up, maybe help manage, and learn the business that way. All right. By the way, if you are interested in working with me on my team, again, you can go to nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com/MHP. So I hope you enjoyed today's show. I love mobile home parks. It is my favorite asset class. I wish I would have been investing these since my first day of real estate investing. I'm super passionate about it. So go out and buy one, or hey, join me on my next one. So hope you enjoyed today's show, and I will talk to you on the next episode.